Do you know how ninjas train in stealth techniques? This young boy, covered in numerous scars, is practicing stealth. First, he carefully presses his toes together, walking cautiously on the floor. Beneath the floor are sharp pieces of standing iron. When those pieces are pressed down, the wooden floor makes a sound. At this moment, the boy looks at his leader with a worried expression. The leader, furious, instructs him to lift his foot behind and forcefully strike it into the sole of his foot. Just 2 strikes leave red bloodstains. However, he is not allowed to rest and must continue training, with blood constantly flowing down his footsteps. Yet, this is considered a relatively gentle training method. The most challenging training involves direct practice on a bed of nails. Pressing both hands firmly on the standing nails, extending both legs to the sides, he pushes down with a breath into the lower abdomen. The arms bear the entire weight of the body, then transition into a banana tree stance, and finally into push-ups, with each push-up landing on a nail. He is Raizo, the 18th leader of the Ozu clan. Carrying a Kyo fiber stick, he can conceal himself in the darkness. He is also adept at accurately throwing shurikens, even hitting the target with both eyes closed. Until now, Ozu Nu is the 17th leader of the organization. This organization specializes in finding orphaned children worldwide, training them from a young age, and pitting them against each other. The child who loses will be eliminated, even executed. The ninja ranks are divided into lower, middle, and upper ranks, with the highest level being the image. The next day is the lower rank test. The first test is a confrontation. Raizo defeats his opponent with just 3 strokes. Looking at his next opponent, Raizo hesitates. The elder of Ozu Nu instructs Raizo to kill quickly without mercy. Only then can he survive. The next challenge is stealth. Raizo steps onto the floor, inhales oxygen, and takes a few steps. The first steps are considered smooth sailing, but resisting Newton's law is not easy. Raizo misses the chance, and the second door fails. Ozu Nu's elder strikes Raizo's sole of the foot. Each whip leaves fresh blood, but he must continue the training. Due to the stinging pain, tears and mucus streamed down his face by night. At this moment, a girl silently approached to tend to his injuries. She helped Raizo apply medicine to his wounds, and he was deeply grateful. Raizo endured hardship day after day, and 10 years quickly passed. He became a young ninja with feet firmly grounded, while others had completed the lower rank test and were preparing for the middle rank test. Raizo, on the other hand, engaged in combat with his senior martial brother. Both of them exhibited exquisite skills with their wooden swords, striking and parrying in equal measure. Senior martial brother Takagi advanced, delivering a kick to Raizo that sent him sprawling. Raizo got up, reversed the situation, and used a sweeping move to bring Takagi down. Takagi, in high spirits, playfully engaged Raizo by throwing a burning ball to play tennis, aiming to blind him. Takagi then attacked, using 2 sword moves to knock down Raizo. The senior martial brother, satisfied, laughed like a newlywed. The elderly leader of Ozu Nu approached Raizo and questioned him about why he didn't seize the opportunity earlier. She demonstrated 2 moves and asked if Raizo felt any pain. During his recovery, Raizo noticed her cutting a steel thread supporting a potted plant. When Raizo asked why, she explained that she believed plants also had hearts, pursuing their own freedom. She allowed Raizo to hear the rhythm in her own heart. The middle rank test was organized again, and to increase the difficulty, Raizo chose to forsake his vision. This time, his challenger was still the stubborn senior martial brother Takagi. Takagi unsheathed his sword, while Raizo relied on his legendary fruit knife. The battle began, and Raizo could only rely on sound to judge his opponent's position and retaliate. Not long after, he was knocked to the ground. Raizo heated up, his anger rising. Takagi approached to claim Raizo's life, but Raizo stopped him and delivered a powerful kick. Thanks to this, the senior martial brother experienced the art of pulling the reins of a lively Eastern festival. In this match, Raizo achieved a convincing victory. On the other side, the battle of the junior martial sister Kiriko did not unfold so favorably. Despite directly defeating her opponent, the elderly Ozu Nu handed her a sword, instructing Kiriko to stab her fellow student. Being kind-hearted, Kiriko resisted the leader's command. The elderly Ozu Nu directly slashed Kiriko's beautiful face and confined her in a crib for 7 days and nights. In the evening, Raizo secretly approached to give water to Kiriko. The kind-hearted Raizo used a straw to feed water to Kiriko, and luckily, she survived the 7 days because of this act of kindness. One night, Kiriko wanted to escape, but Raizo stopped her. He explained that if she were caught, she would be killed. Kiriko, indifferent to life and death, replied, "They can't do anything to me." She took Raizo's hand, placed it on her chest, and they bid their final farewells. Kiriko invited Raizo to go with her. "What's out there?" Raizo asked. "Life. My life is here," Raizo declared. Kiriko climbed over the wall, leaving in profound pain. The girl ran wildly through the forest but was captured by senior martial brother Takagi. Escaping from the Ozu Nu organization was a serious crime, and Kiriko was bound again. The Ozu Nu leader handed all the rights to Takagi for handling. The senior martial brother aimed his sword at Kiriko's chest. She looked at Raizo with heartbreaking eyes instead of saying saying goodbye. Raizo shed tears for her. The corner of Takaji's mouth curled up in a disdainful smile. He then thrust the sword deeply into Kiriko's body, causing her to die in agonizing pain. Raizo's heart also died at that moment. A few months later, Raizo went from Brazil to Berlin to participate in the upper rank test. This was his first difficult mission as an assassin. The man with a brutal face was his target. Raizo stood behind him, stabbed him in the neck, but for the man, this wound was no more significant than a mosquito bite. He immediately retaliated, punching Raizo with great force. Raizo spewed blood, falling to the ground. The man pushed Raizo against the wall and threw him to the side, breaking a toilet. Fortunately, Raizo finally found his opponent's weakness. He completed the mission with blood all over him, enduring the pain, and returned to report to the leader. Raizo brought the man's gold watch in front of Ozunu. Having passed the upper rank test, Raizo officially completed the upper rank training. However, the leader said, "Keep this gold watch. It will remind you that every moment of life is a gift bestowed upon you." Ozunu executed a lower-ranked girl in front of Raizo. She, like Kiriko, had escaped from the organization. The Ozunu leader ordered Raizo to finish her. Remembering Kiriko's tragic death, Raizo finally understood that no matter how hard he tried, he was just a tool for killing. At this point, Raizo drew his legendary fruit knife and slashed it across the leader's face, creating a beautiful line and blinding one eye. The ninja standing beside them rushed forward, and although Raizo dealt with all the assassins, he couldn't resist the overwhelming force. The enemies, hesitant to approach, threw shurikens from a distance. Raizo, heavily injured, fell from the rooftop and plunged into the rive. After escaping from this disaster, many years passed. Raizo lived a secretive life and regularly trained in martial arts. Meanwhile, the Ozunu leader continued to issue orders for her subordinates to carry out assassination missions worldwide. Whenever they received a letter, the black threads inside represented death. The International Police Force had noticed this ninja organization. Police officer Mika was investigating political assassination cases linked to the Ozunu clan. One night, when Mika returned home, she found a letter on the table. Suddenly, a shadow appeared behind her, and a flash was stopped by a chain. Two shadows were fighting in the darkness, and one of them removed the mask of the other. Surprisingly, it was Raizo. He intervened to prevent his master's killing plan and save Mika. Mika led Raizo to meet her colleague, Maslow. Suddenly, armed men emerged from the shadows, surrounding Raizo. They attacked him with electric batons, and Raizo was captured by Maslow's forces. Maslow gave Mika a tracking device, instructing her to open it when in danger. The police arrived, but the ninja warriors were already positioned on the floor. Despite having the absolute advantage, the police struggled against the swift and decisive moves of these skilled assassins. Bullets could not hit them, and soon, most of the police officers were dead. Maslow searched for Mika in the darkened surroundings, and to his surprise, he saw a row of ninjas standing ready on the floor. The police unit suddenly plunged into darkness as they forgot to pay the electricity bill. Looking up, Maslow noticed the ninja were already in position. The police opened fire, but the agility and skill of these mercenaries were overwhelming. In a short time, almost all police officers were killed. Mika tried to find the key to release Raizo, but her terrified hands refused to cooperate. The ninja approached, taunting them. At the moment the shackles were opened, a ninja charged forward. Raizo grabbed his head and forcefully smashed it against the wall. Using a chain, Raizo swiftly dealt with several of the ninjas, but their numerous comrades overwhelmed them. Both Raizo and Mika fought with all their might. Raizo, heavily injured, was reaching his limit when senior martial brother Takaji arrived. Just as Takaji was about to deal with Raizo, he was hit by a speeding car. Although not using ninja techniques, Mika quickly got Raizo away. The two of them arrived at a motel. Raizo was unconscious. Mika had placed a tracking device on him, and then she went outside to wait for the special forces to arrive. Quickly, members of the ninja organization pursued them. They captured Raizo and took him back to Japan to face the clan leader's judgment. On the way, Raizo used ninja techniques to heal his wounds, and all the injuries quickly disappeared. The master looked at Raizo, regretting that the iron had not turned into steel. He had chosen Raizo as the heir to the clan, but unexpectedly, Raizo betrayed the organization. The Ozu woman launched a deadly attack, and the familiar pain struck again. Raizo spat blood, and the tracking device fell. The clan leader, just by looking, knew something was wrong. Suddenly, a loud noise was heard. An armored car crashed through the wall, equipped with over 2,000 W headlights to illuminate the ninjas in the darkness. All kinds of guns continuously fired, and most of the ninjas were dealt with. At this point, Raizo was also untied. He rushed into the room to fight hand in hand with Takaji, the senior brother who had no chance against him. Oh, an earthquake? No, it's the ninja Raizo coming up. Raizo approached and used a sword to smash the place where he had practiced acrobatics years ago. After entering, he fought with the leader. Although the Ozu woman didn't wear sturdy shoes, he had the skill to move fast. Despite the injuries all over Raizo's body, the leader did not kill him but tormented his mind. Raizo wanted revenge for the pitiful Kiriko. He had learned the Morgan move from the leader, and they both suffered. The leader used the skills he had learned throughout his life to play a deadly game with Raizo. He raised his knife, preparing to turn Raizo into dinner when, at the critical moment, a gunshot rang out. Mika had arrived. The leader once again fled into the darkness and suddenly appeared behind Mika, stabbing her straight in the back. Raizo watched Mika fall in a pool of blood, feeling the pain as if his heart were being cut. Raizo reached the highest level of ninja technique enlightenment. He moved like a demon, extremely fast in the room, blinding the clan leader. Raizo silently appeared behind the Ozu woman without making a sound. He raised his sword, leapt high, and sent the Ozu woman to the altar. Raizo carried Mika out of the room. Mika regained consciousness. It turned out that since birth, her heart had been on the right side, so she could preserve her life. After everything was over, Raizo leapt over the organization's wall, looking at the scene outside the towering wall. A new life awaited him. Raizo, the 18th, came into the world. The film concludes here. Thank you for watching the entire video. See you in the next films. Goodbye and see you again.